Punxsutawney Phil, as he's known, the Groundhog, did not see his shadow this morning. That means an early spring, my friends, which I am excited about here. About 90 minutes, a little less than 2-hour drive from Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. I am excited about an early spring, Joe.
This stupid rodent. So I was wondering, this is what we care about here on this show. How successful are you? What is your ATS record? So I was curious,
Phil's is
and
bad.
I just took a look. Like, why do we make this a thing? No, why is this a thing? Because he says early spring. Now I'm concerned. That means late spring. That means in April, I'm going to be outside at 40-degree baseball games at night.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm going to be, oh, man. So apparently, according to this article I'm reading, that his predictions are accurate 39% of the time. No, reverse it if you're writing that. Say he's inaccurate 61% of the time. He's not accurate. He's a bum. I can't wait to take him to court on Monday. Get out of here. Phil, I want to kick him to the curb. He's out of here.
Wow.
Come on.
Is openly that advocating violence?
Do people take it seriously over there? Do people take it seriously?
No. Can I tell you what Groundhog Day is all about in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania? Because I went last year. For the first time ever, I went.
Oh,
Our
wow.
morning show went last year, and we just observed the whole thing. Because we got a call one day from one of the guys in the top hats. There's, what do they call it?
Those guys are clowns.
Oh.
Those guys are such clowns.
So this is all about having an excuse to party for like 48 hours. Like next year when this this is a Friday. Next year when this thing is on a weekend, it'll really pop. But it's all about 48 hours of drinking in the middle of nowhere. That's what it is. Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania is in the middle of nowhere, little tiny, teeny, small town. Nice people. The guys in the top hats seem like decent dudes, I think. I met a couple of them last year, but this poor groundhog lives in a cage in a library all year. They throw it in the stump early in the morning on February 2nd and then drag it out. The poor thing makes a mess of itself because it's scared because there's thousands of people and flash bulbs going off. And yeah. Trust me, PETA's all over this thing. And it's just an excuse. Our good friends, their daughter is a freshman in college, about a half an hour from Punxsutawney, Indiana, Pennsylvania. She went. It's a party. That's all it is. It's a party. We went last year. We didn't drink because we were on the air, and we just stood there and froze our bits off the entire time. It was awful. No thanks.
Did you just make fun of the thing the whole time? Is that what you did on air?
No, we just talked to people as they came by. You know, you talk about because the atmosphere itself is kind of like, I'd liken it to a small college football game, right? Like people are hanging out, drinking, tailgating. It would be like going to.
Is there stands?
Well, yeah, there's some. I guess I wouldn't call them stands, but therere's some places to sit. Like there's this big natural amphitheater where there's a stage. Yeah.
First of all, I can't see.
It's
hat off.
So, Paul, I saw the question you asked in the text chain. The legend is that Punxsutawney Phil is immortal, but I will say that behind the scenes, according to undisclosed sources who I can't name on account of them wanting to remain anonymous, yes, there are multiple groundhogs. There have been they recycle the groundhogs.
That's a real question.
So, that was a real question from Paul.
Genuinely curious. No, it's the same groundhog forever.
It is not nearly as much fun as the movie makes it out to be. Like the movie makes it look like, oh, everybody's hanging out in a little tiny small town. No, it's nowhere in the tiny small town. It's like 15 minutes outside the small town at a little place they call Gobbler's Knob. That's where it is. You're out in the middle.
Oh, no.
I went there all the time in high school.
I knew her in high school.
Nice.
Oh, man. And so you go out to the middle of nowhere in the mountains of Pennsylvania, and you watch guys in top hats drag a large rodent out of a cage.
Gobbler's Knob.
I have done very well, and I've given it out on every interview I've did last week and the week before that. on the Chiefs both times, and I'm not sticking with them in the Super Bowl because of that. I'm betting them because I think the Chiefs are better. I think they're a better team. We've seen Purdy under pressure recently. Yes, he had a great second half comeback last week. 2 weeks ago, I bet Green Bay with the points. The game went to 10.5. I thought Green Bay should have won outright, to be honest with you. So, even though we know San Fran they're so deep. When I say deep, they have so many. You can just name McCaffrey, Ayuk, and player after player after player. So much talent on San Fran. I know that, but the quarterback is the big factor in my eyes. And there's no comparison if you want to compare Brock Purdy to Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, one of the greatest quarterbacks we'll ever see in this game. He's right there with Montana, Brady, and you definitely put his words. He is the X factor in this game for me. As soon as the game came up, I was all over my Don Best screen looking to see where the game came up. It came up in a place in Jersey, which I couldn't get first. Plus, by the way, it opened up. People are saying it opened up 2.5. No, it opened up 3. I watched it with my own eyes. So it opened up 3, plus 3, minus $1.20. Then it went to minus $1.22, minus $1.25. Then finally, I had a book here that did open it up $1.25, and I did get the bet a little bit on the 3. Well, guess what? The plus 3 minus $1.22 showed up again 2 days ago on a big service that everyone does respect, not so much in NFL, but they're more of a college basketball service. They released San Fran on Tuesday morning, I think it was. Well, because after I bet the plus 3 and I took some money line also on KC, the line went down to San Fran -1. You actually had to lay $1.15 on KC at a couple spots. They released the -1 early Tuesday morning, I believe it was, and the line went to, again, -2.5, even strong 2.5. So it went to strong -2.5, -20, and I actually bet the 3 plus 3 -22 again. So I like KC in the game, and I'll tell you what, even though you can't get the 3 anymore, I still like Kansas City money line.
My own conspiracy, baby. I mean, if you ever have bought into the hype of Kansas getting the friendliest whistle in college basketball, which I absolutely have. Big 12 fans have been complaining about this for years. Non-conference fans have been complaining about this for years. If there's ever a time to buy into the conspiracy, it's right now, because there's never been more. The Big 12 doesn't want the new guy coming in and just rolling to a conference championship. And you're probably going to get a low point spread here because the metrics love Houston. They're the darling of the net right now, the number 1 net team in the country. Ken Pom has loved them all season long. They've got 7 quad 1 wins. It's the most of any team in the country. So you're probably going to get a nice number for this game. If, in fact, the officials have it out for whoever comes into Fog Allen, they will have it out for Houston on Saturday. And even if they don't, as long as Kevin McCullough can play in this game, Hunter Dickinson is going to do his thing. I think Dickinson is a guy who's really embraced his role, his given role as college basketball villain. And now is the time for him to really amplify it, to really play it up. Like, he's going to start doing the thing where he wants to be talked about nationally. I expect him to have a big game on Saturday. I know Kansas, the injury concerns are a little bit here and there. I think this is a spot where they're going to step up to the challenge. They've been a little bit disappointing in terms of being a lot of people's preseason favorite to win the national title. I love Houston long-term. I think they're absolutely the real deal, but this will very much be a welcome to the Big 12 type moment. I think funky stuff happens and Kansas winds up winning this game by whatever the number is.
This is a tough. So Houston, ever since those back-to-back losses, they've rattled off 5 straight wins. Now pushed by Texas, obviously earlier this week. Kansas, they've been strong at home, but those home games, like, have they really been tested? I don't think a team anywhere close to what Houston is. I'm curious where this line is. Now, I know that Ken Pom is saying it's 5. Does anybody believe that Kansas is going to be a 5-point home dog? There's no way, right? This will be like maybe 3,
2.5
at most.
Yeah,
at most.
Yeah.
I guess I understand how they got to that number, but yeah, I mean, the 2-point percentage for Houston offensively has been rough. We know how they make their mark. It's on the defensive end of the court, but it's been a popular bet this season, even though they haven't been tested at home. If you're getting more than 3, let's say we get there and people are just betting with some of the algorithms that are available and laying it with Houston on the road, I'd probably take Kansas if I'm getting more than a possession.